The British Tory party has won 56.2% of the seats in Parliament with only 43.6% of the vote. The left has been throwing a giant public temper tantrum on social media and in the streets. There is something very ominous, however. Among people in their 20s and 30s, it was a landslide victory for the left. The election pitted big cities against small towns and rural areas. However, it also clearly pitted the young against the old. If you look at the voting by age, it actually looks very bad for the Tories in the long term. So how were the Tories able to win so many seats with only 43.6%? The 7 largest left-wing parties got a total of 51.8% of the vote. Some of this translated into a lot of seats, and some of it did not. Labour got 32.1% of the vote and 31.7% of the seats. The Liberal Democrats got 11.6% of the vote, but only won 1.7% of the seats. In fact, the Liberal Democrats got 57% more votes in this election than they did in the last. Yet they won 9% fewer seats. The Green Party received 2.7% of the vote and 0.15% of the seats. The Liberal Democrats and the Greens played the role of spoiler for Labour. They took 14.3% of the vote combined and have almost nothing to show for it. Of course, you can blame the Labour Party for this. They have been going so far to the left that it drove a lot of their more moderate supporters to vote Liberal Democrat instead. For those who don't know, elections in England are more like elections in the USA than most of the rest of the world's democracies. And perhaps you can see why America has been deadlocked in a two-party system since the American Civil War. The big winner on the left is the Scottish National Party, the SNP. They got 3.9% of the British vote, but will receive 7.4% of the seats. This is because their 3.9% is all in one region, Scotland. Also, Scotland gets a disproportionately large number of seats in the UK Parliament. Plaid Cymru, Sinn Féin, and the Irish Social Democrats received a combined 1.5% of the vote and 2% of the total seats. So votes for those parties were effective. On the right, you have the Tories with 43.6%, and their Northern Irish allies, the DUP, at 0.8%, and the Brexit Party at 2%. The DUP will get 1.2% of the seats. The Brexit Party will not get any seats, but they did not intend to win any. The Brexit Party ran candidates in 275 constituencies. They specifically said they were not going to run candidates in constituencies that would spoil a Tory victory. However, if you look at the results, the Brexit candidates clearly did prevent some Tory victories. If the Brexit Party had not fielded any candidates, the Tories probably would have easily won at least another 12 seats. You can see this especially in the area around Doncaster County. Now, it is hard to predict exactly what would have happened if Britain had proportional representation. If they did, you probably would have had the Brexit Party and perhaps even other parties on the right running aggressive campaigns and winning some seats. You may have also had a lot more people defect from Labour to the Liberal Democrats. However, I would say that the parties on the right definitely would not have won such a large majority. There is one thing that would immediately swing Britain way to the right. If Scotland had not chickened out on independence in 2014, there would have been a far larger Tory majority in 2017 instead of a razor-thin majority. Scottish independence would have guaranteed an easy Tory victory for years to come. This would have given the Tories a lot of headroom and allowed for the rise of a more hardline faction within the party. In the aftermath of the new British election, the head of the SNP was grandstanding about how Scotland will vote again on independence. If the entire Scottish delegation left, the Tory majority would go from 56.2% to 60.7%. And it would pretty much guarantee a Tory majority for years to come. I think that if Scotland did secede, the Scottish people would also get a very fast crash course in the folly of socialism. An independent Scotland under SNP control would be a total disaster. Ultimately, I think the 2014 Scottish referendum failed because deep down people knew it meant the end of the English gravy train. Of course, ultimately, all of the British Isles is going to go very far left in the long term as long as they keep importing massive amounts of brand new left-wing voters from all over the world every single month. So unless the Tories cut off this avalanche of brand new left-wing voters coming into the United Kingdom, it's all over. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below, and tell me what you think about this. And please consider making a donation to this YouTube channel, as YouTube has mass demonetized all my videos. And I would like to thank Mark and Liz for making donations. I would also like to thank the people who have made donations of $2 and $5 on Subscribestar and Patreon. Thank you very much for that. And please support my sponsor, Patriotic Flags, the online flag store, patriotic-flags.com. And click the subscribe button. New video every few days.